when we don't know who we are and we're not comfortable with who we are as a person, we can look externally to other people to give us that validation. And we can think that if we get good grades, people are going to think we're smart. We're the smartest in the class, and they're really going to look up to us. And we can think that if we're super, super funny, people are going to think we're the class clown. Whatever it is, people are going to think about you in that way externally. But it doesn't really matter unless you really think about yourself in that way. So if you think that, again, going back to my examples of being the smartest or the funniest, if you are like really, really proud of yourself for, studying, getting good grades, putting your all into your classes, that is one thing, because that is internally, the work that you've put in and you're proud of yourself for that. And also, if you're really, really witty and you have a great sense of humor, that can be something that you're proud of for yourself. But again, that doesn't really matter what other people think of you, as long as that is what you think of yourself. I think what other people think of us is just sort of like the cherry on top, after we really, really initially think that way about ourselves. And I think that wanting to be liked can be really, really interesting in two aspects. I think of it as like wanting to be liked by your family, wanting to be accepted by your family, your friends, the people that you really, really love and care about, because you want them to feel that way about you too. I feel like that can just be a normal feeling that we can all have, especially if you love going on vacations or going on trips with your family and your friends, that you want them to feel the same way about you. So that is one aspect. The other aspect is really relying on other people externally for the validation that we should be giving ourselves. And that is why I think we can try to get into friendships, get jobs, be in situations where we really, really want to be accepted. Like if we think somebody is super cool and we really want them to like us, we can try to get into that situation because we want that external validation. Because I can think of times like when I was growing up, like in middle school, high school, maybe even some in college, where I really, really wanted to be accepted by a certain group, or I really wanted to be friends with certain people, that I would, make jokes at my expense, and I would try to be funny, and I would try to be silly and goofy, to the point where it honestly got, thinking back when I was like reflecting, it got to a point where like a friend had like thrown food at me. Like it got to that point where I was like taking myself so lightly and I was disrespecting myself so much that it made it okay for somebody else to disrespect me. And again, this happened like years ago. It happened over 10 years ago. And when I was reflecting, like that was just something that came up. And I'm sure that the person who did it doesn't feel the same way. Like I'm sure that they've grown and like would think back on it and be like, ooh, like that was rough. But yeah, I was in the place where I didn't care much about myself. I just wanted that other person to like me. So like whatever they did to me, however they thought I should be treated, that was how I should be treated. Like I didn't really stand up for myself at all. And again, it didn't really work until, what do I want to say? Like until I was like reflecting. I didn't really care about myself until I really reflected and I figured out like, hey, that wasn't okay. And I started to have compassion for my younger self and the younger versions of me who would just accept anything. And even though I didn't deserve any of that, and then there was also a part of me, I think like during college, when I was thinking about wanting to be liked by people, and then I had like a revelation. I was like, wait a minute, do I even like that person? Do I even want to be friends with them? Like I want them to like me so much, but I don't really care for who they are. I don't really care for their mentality. I don't care for the way that they think, the way that they treat other people, the way that they might treat like homeless people, the way that they treat animals or kids. Like I don't like that. And it was really, again, through like college where I started to figure out who I was and the things that I cared about at like the basic core level. Again, with how you treat like servers, how you treat people when you're at a restaurant. And again, I was like, I want this person to like me so much, but I don't really care about them. And again, it was reflecting when I really noticed that, who I was as a person, the things that I cared about, the things that I loved, where my morals were and where my values lied. And now I'm just going through a lot of my notes just to make sure, that I've sort of touched on things, because I sort of thought about them in different aspects. again, like wanting your friends and your family to love you, and then just sort of not respecting yourself and wanting that respect from other people. But that respect comes from you inside, at the very, very core. And I think my thing is slipping. I think my phone is slipping, but it hasn't done that in a while, but I think it's okay. Yeah, I really had to create a genuine relationship with myself to understand where I was disrespecting myself in the past. So now, at this point in my life, I don't feel like I need to ask for anybody's approval. I don't, like, after I record this video, I'm not like, hey, does anybody, like, do you guys like this if I send this to my friends or family? And I don't do that or ask them for, like, their acceptance, or, you know, if they're going to understand this video, or if they're going to like it. Like, I just do this because this is what I feel called to talk about and feel called to share about. And then I will update it and upload it at my leisure, like whenever I feel like it. And, you know, like creating also that schedule for myself where, you know, I'm recording and I'm uploading and, you know, stuff like that for me where it feels comfortable. But I also don't have any of that fear holding me back from uploading, because I have worked through and healed that part of myself where also I didn't like the sound of my voice. I didn't like to watch myself. And I've really gotten through that. I've healed through that. And that is not an insecurity of mine. And I think I talk about this a little bit more, but yeah. Okay. Just making sure I'm going through my notes. I don't want to miss anything. But yeah, I've healed the parts of myself that I used to need people to tell me was okay about myself. Like, I remember, again, when I was in high school, I had an English teacher, which, love English teachers. I don't know why. They're always, I always remember them and like my science teachers. But I had one specific English teacher who always wanted me to read in class aloud, because she really liked the sound of my voice. And at that time I was like, really? Like, I can't stand the sound of my voice. And I just couldn't, I hated speaking aloud. I didn't like, and I also didn't really talk a lot in class. So I would really get out of breath very easily. And I would like stutter, mess up my words and stuff like that. But she loved the sound of my voice. So I was like, oh, okay. Anything for you, girly, because she was so great. But it really took me facing my fear, making videos, talking in front of, even if it's nobody, just talking and getting used to the sound of my voice and breaking through that limiting belief about myself, getting past that fear. It is slipping. And getting past that fear that I had for, I don't even know for what reason, probably something when I was younger. I don't even know. I can think of one thing, but it didn't really have to do with my speaking voice. It was like a singing voice kind of thing where like, it was like no one in our family has a good voice. Kind of that kind of thing. Like we have ugly voices or something like that. So that's just always what I kind of thought of myself. But, yeah, it really took me making videos, actually talking and doing the thing to get over my fear of the thing. So yeah, coming on here to talk and to make videos, it was really listening to my voice over and over again to get through that fear of listening to my voice. Like, in order to get over the fear of whatever it is in your life, it could be simple as something like I am just talking or looking at yourself. To get over that fear, you have to do that thing. And it's really taken me, so I don't know how many years to get over hearing the sound of my voice, because when I record these, I listen to it back, I do the captions, like I make sure that I'm speaking clearly, stuff like that. And it's also allowed me to get better at enunciating and, you know, pronouncing words. I'm trying, but it's really helped with that. And I've realized that like I didn't really have anything to be afraid of. We all talk, we all have voices, like there's nothing to be insecure about. And also I think through healing, I've realized that I don't really have any insecurities anymore. That, you know, it took facing those fears and realizing that the person I was comparing myself to was a stranger, was another person. So why should I feel insecure about something that someone else is doing with their life? Like, why should my voice be compared to another person's voice? Because we have two, oh, that bird is so cute. We have two completely different voices. So why would I compare myself to another person? Why would I give another person that power in my own life to make somebody else the blueprint of my life, because for each of our lives, we are the blueprint. Like, you are the only person who can live your life the way that you live your life, with what you need to know for your life and what you need to do for your life, for your purpose, whatever you feel. And that is only going to make sense to you. It's not going to make sense to, you know, a stranger that you follow on Instagram that you are incessantly, I think that's a word, comparing yourself to for no reason at all. Like, they are going to live their life the way that they live their life, even if it's a family member. Like, your family member is doing what they're doing in their own way that feels right to them. Why are you comparing them to, you know, the way that they dress, the way that they look, the way that they design their makeup? Like, that is what they're going to do in their own life, and they should be doing that happily, like doing whatever makes them happy. But you should also be doing what makes you happy in your life for yourself, like not for another person, just doing it because it makes you happy and it makes you feel content. So yeah, when I was healing, I realized that, like, I don't have anything to be insecure about. No one has anything to be insecure about. And the reason that we can feel so insecure is because we are comparing ourselves to somebody else. Like, I can get pimples, I can have breakouts, my skin can be dry. I cut my finger the other day. I don't even know how. So that's gonna scar. But why would I compare that to another person? Like, this is my body. Nobody else has my body. Like, why? And like, I don't know. Like, I was healing and I realized that, like, insecurities are just made up. Like, and I feel like there are things that can, like, thrive on our insecurities and want us to change in certain ways and to not really accept the person that we are genuinely. Like, we can forget who we are genuinely at our core because we feel like, you know, that's just, it's weird. Again, it could be something that somebody has told you years ago. We can feel like that's weird. We can feel like that is just, you know, not good enough in whatever way. But dude, you're you. There's nobody else like you. And that is so cool. Like, out of 8 billion people, even people in the past, like, there's nobody like you. Those cave folk have nothing on you. But yeah, you're not lacking anywhere. You're not lacking anything. You are right just the way you're supposed to be, with how you should be styling your hair, how you should be doing your makeup. If you even do your makeup, if you don't do your makeup, like, screw it, like, who cares? If you don't care, that doesn't matter at all. Doesn't mean anything if you don't care about doing it. Doesn't matter what somebody says or, like, wants you to do for yourself in your own life, as long as, you know, if you want to do that, great. But if you don't want to do that, that's great too. You don't have to do that. So all of this really just to say, this is my little gift. Accept yourself for who you are and love yourself for who you are, and the versions of yourself who, you know, who you've had to learn from, who maybe you let people disrespect you, and that's okay. Like, we learn from that. We take that as a lesson. We don't really judge ourselves for that. And we keep it moving. Like, maybe that is something that you had to learn for your life. I know that was something I had to learn for my life, because I was able to learn from that and, like, also, like, reflect on that, understand the pattern behind it, and then, like, sort of bring that to other people. So, you know, that was just for me personally. But yeah, I think that was really everything that I had. But it's your life. Yeah, it's your life. And you don't deserve to feel uncomfortable or undeserving if you don't want to be. Like, if something's making you uncomfortable, stop doing that thing. Just stop. Just stop doing it. It can be that easy. And if you, like, are friends with somebody and you just, like, don't really feel like they're respecting you, goodbye. Goodbye. That is that. I don't know. I feel like we can make things so complicated for no reason, but you are the blueprint of your life. You are the standard. You are number one. You are the only one. You are one of one. And that is all that matters. I cut my hair how I wanted to cut it. I did my makeup how I wanted to wear it. I got my little, I think it's House Labs lip gloss, even though sometimes it gets in my hair. I'm looking for one that doesn't get in my hair. So if anybody has recommendations, that would be great. But I do things how I want to do them. You do them how you want to do them. And that is it. we're all unique in our own ways, and we don't need to push a certain ideology or insecurity, or I was going to say ideology again, on another person, and vice versa. No one needs to tell us what to do. We don't need to tell anybody else what to do. We're all perfect in our own way, and that's great. That's it. As long as you're being authentically yourself and you understand yourself and you accept yourself for who you are, that's all you got to do. Just starts with you. It starts with you at the end of the day. Point blank, period. First, last, and that's it. And I lost my bookmark, but that is it for the day. I have the rest of my, I think it's a raspberry lemon zinger tea or something to finish, but I'm going to do that. And I know I wasn't here some of like the end of last week. I think I was just exhausted. But I am back today, and I will have another video hopefully in a few days. Excuse me. Another message, another little sprinkle of magic for you. So that is that for now, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.